the CEN sectors. Of course, what we ensured is that from the previous website, the CEN.eu website, we transferred all the CEN sectors, the business sectors, and also the common topics that we have with CEN and CENELEC on the new website. There was a concerted effort from our colleagues internally to update the information, to clean up the information, to make sure that we have information that is easy, understandable for the general public, for our stakeholders. So you can see here all the different sectors that are covered by CEN. We have made sure in this information that we don't mix, if you want, information that is very much expert specific and general public specific. If you would remember in the previous website, there was sometimes a mix of even mentioning TC meeting dates and TC documents and a lot of detailed information, which is really something that you as experts of CEN are familiar to and have access to, but it's not something that the general public even understands or has access to. So we try to make sure that the information now on the new website with regards to the sectors and the activity areas of CEN is streamlined, is clean, is easy understandable by the general public. And it also, if you want, attracts the stakeholders to our CEN work. And on the next slide, you will see a bit how the sectorial pages are structured. We have here the information of the specific area of work. We have different sub-tabs that allow us now to give more information about specific underwork from a particular sector. We have each web page contains the information related to the technical bodies active in this sector. And this is something that as we progress with the website, we would like to make sure links to the dynamic pages of the technical bodies so that it's always up to date with the latest information we have in the system. We have made the links to the relevant CEN CENELEC guides, documentation and material that is of relevance and of importance for this particular sector, but always seen from the point of view of the external visitor, of a stakeholder in this sector, being interested what happens in terms of standardization in, for example, the construction sector, and having that understanding from our website, having a snapshot of activities, understanding which technical bodies are active in this field, what guides cover and support this field. We have also added policy opinions for the different sectors because, as you know, we are engaging very much as well in different policy engagement activities, and this is something that can support the sector or give a more, if you want, fuller view of what is happening with regards to the sector. So under the policy opinions, for example, of construction, you will find the CEN CENELEC CPR paper that we have done, as well as other useful links. And always the contact for the sector as well, which is something that as an external visitor to the website can be very useful to contact the colleague in CCMC, in the CEN CENELEC Management Center, to get the information you need with regards to this particular sector, or if you want to know a bit more about what CEN is doing in the construction sector. Next slide, please. Another feature of the public website. So now we're really looking into the public website that is very much aimed at the general public. People, if you want, coming from Google, stumbling from Google onto our website. We have also added a news and events section that has a lot more filter options and a lot more options to share, to search across sectors, across the types of information you would like. And are we looking for press releases? Are we looking for publications? Are we looking for standards in the spotlight and so on? As well, if the news is relevant or linked to CEN activities, CENELEC activities, or both. And this is a new feature as well that implies that we can filter a lot better, or that a visitor to our website can filter a lot better the news and information they have access to and find the news that is most relevant for them. Staying updated, we have put in place, as you know, or I don't know if you know, but we have a newsletter from the CEN Satellite Management Center that goes out monthly. Of course, there's the press releases that you receive as well. There's information on news, on workshops, on standards in the spotlight. So there is also the option as well to simply subscribe to the different categories that we have, and then the information to land directly in your inbox, rather than you always coming to visit our website to stay updated and informed. And you will see there is a similar feature as well for the more expert area that Eric will introduce you to as well. It's something to facilitate if you want a flow of information from the website towards yourself, and not necessarily assume or expect that everybody goes onto the website on a daily basis. Next slide, please. Which I think is the time as well to hand over to Eric, but maybe I will take a question, because maybe we can have some question answer here just to break a bit the flow, Eric, if you agree, before we go into the expert area.
Yeah, that's fine for me.
Because it's a webinar after all, it's a workshop. And after we kicked you everybody out and now everybody in, I see Inga, you're asking that events older than 1 year cannot be searched. We are going to look into that, Inga. Thank you for the question, because okay, as I mentioned, I mean, you saw it was a 2 years effort of transferring the website, and we tried to have the most updated information transferred onto the website. But I do take your comment, and I think with the colleagues we looked as well that we will need to go back, maybe not go back to all the way back where we had the events, but I think we were having, or we managed to transfer all the 2020 events, but we were also thinking 2019. And in preparing for today's webinar as well with Eric, we identified, for example, that we had some trainings and some links to information from 2019, 2020 that we have to update. So we will be looking into that. Thank you for the question. I see Peter, to view a total list of TCs in numerical order. I think Eric will answer that exact question, because we have addressed that question, and that is coming up in the expert area. I think any more questions maybe on the public website that we presented? If not, we can dive right into the expert. I see Vanina, you raised your hand. I don't know if raised hand goes, because I understand my colleagues muted everybody. So I think it's a question of typing the question in. It was also done specifically to make sure that we also capture all your questions in writing and can answer them later if we don't manage to during the webinar. So Vanina, if you could type your question, that would be very helpful. If not, maybe Eric, while Vanina types the question, I can take that later and you can start the expert area. No question. Okay, thank you. Eric, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. So we can move to the next slide. So as Andrea explained previously, so the idea is to have a clear split between now the public information, the public website, and the experts area, which is really consolidating all the information which are more targeting the experts. Next slide. And so in terms of information, you have the static pages, but also when talking about the information on the standardization project, so the search and the information on the standards, also the shape of the search and the information in the public website was shaped in a way that it's accessible for non-standardization experts. On the contrary, if you need more to do more complex search or get more detailed information, in this case, we advise the experts to go to Projects Online. And in accordance with a CNBT decision, Projects Online was open to all the experts from the 5th of October. But I think it's I think there is a mistake. I think it's from May 2021 now.
No, it was 5th October 2020.
Ah, okay, 5th October. Okay, okay. I'm wrong. So the 5th October, so 2020. So, and of course, you can make more extensive search, and also the information that we expose in Projects Online is basically all the information that we have in our own database and which is available in CCMC. There has been a webinar that was organized also on Projects Online, and you have here the link to this webinar. Now, talking about the expert portal, the idea was to keep it simple, not to create a monster. And you will see that the structure of this portal is rather simple, and there are not too many pages. So as we say, too many information kill the information. So and so the first thing, we are consolidating the access to all the applications which are relevant for the experts, but also to the members or to the technical body officers. And for each applications, you have a small description and an access to the user's guide or the templates which are related to this application. So you can move maybe to the next slide. So here, for example, you see the CEN document. So that's where the former LifeLink platform with e-committee. So that's the new one. So where you have all the documents of the technical committees. So there is a small description. And as I said, there is also a link to the user's guide. So you can move to the, voila, where you get directly access to the user's guides, which is, I think, an improvement also, because in the past it was not always so obvious to get a centralized access to all the user's guide. Okay, next slide. Yes, so there is also an identification of the targeted audience. So yeah, you can move to the next slide. So here, for instance, we did it for each application, but you will find also the same information for the news and also for the trainings and events. Okay, you can move to the next one. Yes, we wanted also to use this new portal to communicate on key initiatives, which is something that was not feasible on the public website really in the past. So yeah, you can move. So in key initiatives, so we are talking about projects like all the projects which are related to the digital transformation, like the online collaborative authoring or the standards of the future. But you will also see that the last one is the migration to CEN documents, which was also an important, I would say, project for the CEN community. Okay. And then the last one is the news. So usually when we want to communicate to the standardization community, so all the experts, we go through the members and to the technical body officers, and so we will continue to do that. We are sending emails and then we ask them to spread them. But here with the website, this expert portal, we see an opportunity also to reach out more directly the experts and to expand this possibility to reach them. Yeah, you can move to the next slide. So if you open the CEN experts area at the top of the page, so you will see the latest news. And here, of course, these are news which are really targeting the experts. And so it's about trainings, information. But for instance, if we have a server which is planned to be down on a certain date, that's also where you will find the information. And yeah, so you can filter this information. And as I said, so for instance, you have IT maintenance where you can be informed when a server can be down or yes, will not be accessible. IT news, where we put news on the new released version of applications or new applications, and then information related to the trainings, events, and digital transformation. So that's the filter for the news. And on top of that, similar to what is available on the public website, you have also the possibility to subscribe to the news. So you just put your email, you select the category for which you want to be notified, and you will receive a daily notification each time an event or a news is posted. Okay.
So we will go now through a set of consolidated frequently asked questions that we have received and that we have clustered by relevance and type of questions. So some might be no more relevant to you because since the launch, you have found the way and the information on the public website, but we thought it would be good to tackle them anyway in this webinar again. So the first question is, can you adapt the visual identity when landing on a CEN or CENELEC page? And yes, and that has been done on the website now. So CEN or CENELEC logo are visible instead of both when you are going on the About CEN section or the About CENELEC section, like in the next slide, Elisa. You see now that on the section at the top about CEN, we have adapted and put the CEN only logo. The next question is, where can I find my expert area when using a small screen? So Andrea already tackled that, but if you click on the responsive hamburger menu on the top right corner and then you scroll down, you will see and you will have access to your CEN expert area. The next one is, where can I find the most recently published standards on the website? And that you can find on the top menu. If you go on About CEN, yes, the information is available indeed in the Standards Evolution Forecast. So on the top menu, when you go on About CEN, you have the Technical Work submenu, and then you have there the CEN Standards Evolution and Forecast. The next one is, what is the difference between search website and search standards? So please note that there is a difference between the search in the website, that is searching mainly in the content of the news and in the web pages, and the search standards, that is a global search in the database, which is updated on a daily and rolling basis. And we do invite you to notify us of any gaps you might come across for us to improve the metadata behind the search in the content website. Next question is for Eric.
It's for me. Here the question is, why is it not possible to find information on the technical body, or to find, I would say, the technical body landing page using the general search? So in fact, there is a technical reason behind. So the static page of the website have been developed using a technology which is called Umbraco, which is the Microsoft new content management server. And all the dynamic pages, so all the pages that you are using to search on technical bodies, national committees, or on standards, are provided through another technology, which is an Oracle technology, which is called Oracle Apex. And so those two technologies are clustered. So this is something we have to investigate, because as I said, it's not just a question of configuration. So we have to look if we can find a workaround so that it's possible to search through the general search engine, and also find those dynamic pages which are, as I said, in the completely clustered technology, which is not linked to the website. So to be investigated, but we will do it, because I think the question is completely relevant, in fact. So, but we will investigate that.
Okay, the next question is, in the search standard, when exporting the result of a search, why don't we get all the displayed data in the Excel report? As it was explained by my colleague earlier, the public website is meant only for the quick searches. If you need more detailed information, we invite you to go in projects online for a member and expert. But however, we decided to complete the Excel extract that you can extract from the public website with more information, like the title in English, the work item number, some dates also, like the DOR, DIV, DOA, DOP, and DOW. So this has already been done. Where can I find a list of harmonized ENs? On projects online, but also on the public website, you can search by directive. and I will go live to show you how to do it. So if you go here on this public website and you click on search standards, we have here a field directive. So you can search by directive and you get a list of standard linked to that specific directive. And it is the same for projects online. You can also on the quick search navigation select a directive, and you will get also a result, a few standards linked to that specific directive. Is it possible to find information on committee meeting on the public website? It's not longer available on the public website, but you can find this information on projects online. So again, I will go for a demo on projects online. So if you select a technical body, you will see that sometimes there is a tab meetings. So if you click on it, you will have information on the last meeting with the date and the location, but also in for the next meeting, if this information has been shared with our data service unit here at CCMC. Where can I find the Cntc pages? There is a list of technical committees available on the public website. But if you need to have detailed information on this technical committee or the URL to the e-committee page, we encourage you to go on in projects online. This one is for you, Eric.
Again, so it's about the the search in the public area, search on the standards. So there is a possibility to enter keywords, and so the question that we receive is when you are making a search, it's or operator between the different words and not a hand. Yes, so it's the or operator which is selected by default, and so you can also search an exact phrase by using the double quotes. So if you want to search a very specific combination of words, but that can be changed, of course. So that's just a decision to be taken. I have no strong feeling whether it would be better to use or and at this stage, but okay, whenever needed, we can change it if needed.
Okay. Is it possible to display the withdrawn standard? Indeed, and this is something that we have done in the public website. So in the search standard, we added in the field status a new status withdrawn, which is unticked by default. But if you need to have a list of withdrawn standard, you can just select that status here. Is there a dedicated place with the checklist, guiding materials, templates, etc. for drafting harmonized standards? There is indeed such material. It is available on the BOSS, and we put the link here for you. Where do I find the internal regulations? It is also in the BOSS under reference material, and we put the direct link here in the slides. And it was the last question. So we thank you for your participation. If you have any other question, you can add it in the Q&A box.
I think, thank you, Elisa and Eric. I think there are some questions already, which maybe Eric can take the one from KISS.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, but there is the one from Peter first, Peter
Of
Bagma,
course,
which
please.
was,
Yes, of
yeah,
course.
which was not really tackled. So I'm not sure. Maybe Elisa, if you can move to the public website.
Sure.
So you were talking about the complete list of technical committees. So this one is in about CEN technical work and list CEN technical bodies. So you have the complete list, which is there. And you have also the possibility there to make an extract in Excel. So I'm not sure whether it is what you were talking about or what you wanted to mention, what you were referring to. Okay, great.
And then also the question maybe from Case, could you answer that, Eric, with the metadata to working groups?
So are all published standards allocated to a working groups? That's more maybe, I don't know, Elisa. So clearly we are associating projects, standard projects to working groups. Now, whether we systematically always have this data, that I don't know. Okay. I see a reply from Anastasios who say, no, we don't systematically have this data. So we have it when we record it in our database when we have the data, but it's not systematic. Is project online accessible for all those registered in the global directory or only those with a CEN role? Maybe Elisa?
Yes, you need to have a specific role in a technical committee to have access to projects online. So you need a role like a secretary, a chairperson, or committee member. And I think there are others. Maybe my colleague Thierry can help here.
Working group experts also, no?
Yes, yes, committee
Systematically,
member.
convener, yes.
Yeah, you just need one role in one technical committee. That's it.
Which does not mean this is the only way to get access. So we have also, and Elisa and Thierry will correct me, but some person from the staff of the national committees who are not necessary, do not necessarily have a role in a technical committee, but in this case, so we are granting the access via another channel. We do it directly here in CCMC. The only rule, because we are planning to use only the CIF, so the single sign-on federation with select ISO and IC in the future for people to authenticate. So the only rule will be to be registered at least in the global directory to get authenticated. But then to get the access, so it can be either a role or an access that we grant directly here in CCMC. So am I correct, Elisa and Thierry?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Gudrun, I see a question there. I can take this one, Eric, in the meantime, and maybe if you look through the chat as well, there are some questions. Access to the CEN-BT and CEN-LBT document areas is done as always has been done, is through the live link and the collaboration platform. So this password protected, if you want, areas continue to be password protected. You can go via the My Expert area and then click on the link, because that was the whole intention, was to group under My Expert area, under CEN My Expert area, to have the documents, the ballots, projects online, meetings, global directory, quick search all together, but you still, of course, go via the password protected platforms. I mean, that continues to be the rule. Where do you find them on the front page? Can you maybe, Elisa or Eric, if you show through the expert area of CEN to show where it goes to the different in the My Expert area CEN?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think maybe it's useful to show the applications and maybe explain a bit the applications and what they give access to. So the documents, where that goes and so on.
So we have the documents who goes to the new platform, the new CEN technical committee platforms on Nuxeo. This one, document legacy, it is the link to live link. So here we still have some governing bodies and other group that are still on live link. We have ballots on draft standards, which give access to the e-balloting platform, projects online. Then we have CEN meetings, and here the ballot for the governance for BT and AG. This one is the global directory for your user administrators. We have a link to an application called Quick Search. And then below we have more applications like an access to e-trans, meeting room manager to check the availability of the meeting rooms in the CEN management centers. We have the comment collection tool, a link to iProjects, CEN online vote calculator. We have another one for the CEN API portals, which give access to our API data feeds, projects data. Here we have a link to the Miro documents. We have a new tool here, the flexible time frame calculator. And we have some supporting tools for the data feeds and XML version of the standards. Okay, if you have any other questions.
I think maybe Elisa or Eric, it would be helpful. So we are going to share, of course, the slides, no, as a follow-up. The webinar is also recorded, so that is also something, and we'll make these available in the My Expert area, so under CEN Expert area. And as Elisa mentioned, and you saw that in the slides, there are links to previous trainings or guidelines that can help you or refresh your memory if you want for the different applications that we have and the different tools and opportunities at your disposal. I also followed a bit the chat, and I hope, Jenny, that your answer was your question was answered between Marc-Antoine and myself on the distinction between BOSS and the CEN expert area. I do take your comment, Stephanie, on finding the technical bodies under areas of work. So that is definitely something that we can consider. And I think any further suggestions that you have, I think we had, I don't know if Elisa or Cecile is controlling the slides, but we had email at the end of the slides to to also have any further feedback you have, or as Cecile mentioned, if you have any search functionalities that don't work. I mean, I think with the disclaimer from our side, of course, understand it's been a very big merge and a very big shift also technologically, but also in terms of information and how we present the information. So we do appreciate all your feedback. And I think just to keep in mind, of course, that we try to make the distinction between what should be more of an airy and light public website that offers just enough information to explain what CEN does to the visitors, and then, of course, have a lot more detailed and easy to access expert information, which is your access to things that are of course password protected and all that, into one portal, which brings it all together. And I think a lot easier as well for Eric and the colleagues to keep it updated in line with the ISO developments as well. So that is something that we're definitely going to keep an eye on. So thank you all for participating. And we hope you found it useful. And I know a lot of you probably found your way around it, but it's been a good exercise for us as well to bring it all in together. I think 2 more raised hands, but I don't know if that function is possible.
Unfortunately, it's a webinar, so everybody is muted.
But please, if you do have any comments, there's still a bit of time to leave it in the chat or in the Q&A. And as I mentioned, all this will be made available to you as well through the expert area. So we will make sure you have you can have another look at your own pace later on. The old websites, I think, don't exist anymore. No, Eric? There's a question if the old websites still exist.
We still have an internal access, but not for outside.
So we still kind of refer back to it. And I saw there was a question as well, I think from Charles, on the links to blogs and redirecting of links. I think because there was such a big change in the website, and also you see the URL we use now, it's only cenelec.eu. So we had cen.eu, cenelec.eu. Our colleagues in IT, they do redirect, but it does always land onto the main page. So that's the only redirection possible, because otherwise it would have been, I think already it's very difficult to manage outside links towards our own website, hence the promotion we have done as well, and the information we have shared with our network and with our community, that the website has changed for everybody to update their website links. But inevitably some things of course have shifted. I think that's the transfer to a new website for any organization. But it's nice to hear your feedback, and thank you for the comments as well. And please do stay in touch with us. That's why we have this website email active as well. As you see, it's a group of colleagues. We're all involved in this technological advancement of the websites, and we're happy to hear that you are overall enjoying it. And I hope that with the information we've provided to you today, it's going to be easier to find your way around. So thank you very much. I think we'll pause the recording now and close the webinar, because I see there are no more questions. And we're going to prepare and maybe see some of you in the second half, which is the Cenelec expert area. So thank you very much for your participation, and have a nice Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.